good news.
Can you feel
Good morning, my beauties and bees, and welcome to another installment of Cryptic Corner. Actually, the very first installment of Cryptic Corner for 2025. So it is January 4th, the first Saturday in 2025, and we're getting off to a rocky start. But that's okay, because I am coming at you live, and we're going to hold it together as a hive. So stick with me, I'll stick with you, and we're going to get through this together. All right, let me say hello to everybody out there in the side chat real quick because we have some people popping in. We got Captain Dusk and James. We got Sandy and Sumami and Native Atheist. And look at the trees. Ember's here. There's Bugbot getting up to shenanigans first thing in the morning. Good morning, Spooky. Hello. Good to see everybody. So happy we could all make it. As you may have noticed that there was a new version of the intro song at the beginning of the show. The song Love Buzz is, of course, copyrighted by Nirvana and Shocking Blue, so I have to find covers of it. But I think that cover was pretty good. That was the electronica cover. There's going to be more. I've got a brass band cover of it. I've got a keys and strings cover of it, and I've got a folk instrument cover of it with vocals. So we're going to get through all of those soon. Don't you worry. We're going to find out about all of the different versions of Love Buzz that are available for free on the YouTube. So that's all coming at you today. But also, one of my things I wanted to start doing this new year was to have a do more ghost content, more haunting content. So we got hauntings in the first segment. We got a haunted theme park. So we'll see what that's all about. Coming up here in Cryptic Corner, and then we have a little bit about the Enochian language. You know, the language of the angels that the angels like actually spoke. Because angels in their fancy languages, but we'll get there when we get there. That's coming up on Getting Weird with It, because there's nothing weirder than speaking in made-up tongues and then trying to convince the world that that's a real language. And then we're going to wrap things up with a visit to Komodo Island, and we're going to talk about those epic dragons that live there. So stick around through the whole show, and you'll be able to absorb all of that. Hey, Patty. Good morning. So, yeah, I'm excited about today's show, but get some housekeeping's in order too, obviously, because this week on the transpositions, it was kind of an epic week. You all don't know if you just come here for Live from the Hive. I also produce another show called the Transpositions Weekly on the Transpositions Network, which is the network I run, with Stephanie Helms, Ember Belrad, and Carly Chardonnay Webb. But this week, I think we hit it out of the park this week with our coverage of the Jerry Coyne debacle. But we'll see how things pan out. Right now, we've just hit our 500 over there, so that's awesome. We still don't have the watch hours to monetize yet. We're about halfway there on the watch hours, but I'm so thrilled that we hit the 500 that I don't even care. I'm just happy that we hit that milestone. And that's what matters to me. But if you want to help us get to that next milestone and get some channel icons and things like that and super chats, go watch some transpositions, because we need all the watch hours we can get over there, and we're covering like cutting edge news. So I wanted to throw that out there as well, just to make sure that everybody was aware. And Ember, I see in the side chat, Ember did some top notch journalism this week. Got us 2 exclusive interviews that you can only see on the transpositions. And if you really want to dive into it, we get the full interview. One of them's about half an hour. One of them's about 45 minutes with him at Meta and Kat Grant. Full interviews that are going to be available on our Patreon shortly. But yeah, go check it out. Go check out the transpositions. Really happy with the things that we're doing over there. And our top-notch team. I couldn't ask for a better team. I think Carly and Ember like up each other's games. Anyway, that's enough about that. We'll talk about the transpositions on the transpositions, but just know that it exists and it is my baby. And why is this pointed so high now? I keep adjusting my camera, but it keeps changing. Oh, now it's cutting off my head. I can't win. I cannot win with this freaking... I just need to to fix the way my... There, that'll work. That's actually fine, except you can't see my massive titties, which are important to me. I'm so happy that some of the hormones are really starting to have their big impact on my body. So I got the girls now. Anyway, I don't have any more preamble to go over, but I just want to say thank you to everybody who helped contribute. And yeah, I keep hitting milestones too. The last weekend I was on Maya's Bad Science Sunday, right? On Bad Science Sunday, lo and behold, we broke 100 viewers for the first time ever, and I got to be a part of it. Obviously, it wasn't because I was there. It was because President Sunday sent a raid, but still, I can pretend it's because I was there. Yeah. All right. So, who's ready for some Cryptic Corner? Who's ready to go out onto Lake Shawnee? All right. I'll see you beauties and bees over there in just a moment. Hello, and welcome once again to Cryptic Corner, where we explore the unexplained, the supernatural, the paranormal and hidden, the mysterious, the alien, the accursed, and the forbidden. I'm your host, Miss Bumblebee, and today's episode is going to be a haunting one. It's been a minute since we've had some ghosts. Well, not too long. I think we had CCTV footage back in October. This is January now. That's a long time to go without a little haunting in your life, especially from an ex-paranormal investigator. But part of that's maybe because I'm more jaded about ghosts and don't believe in them very much. But maybe you do. Maybe you're into hauntings. I think the hauntings have a lot to do with psychological priming. But you let me know after we watch this and wade through this episode. Oh, there's my alarm telling me it's time to start Cryptic Corner. So, without further ado, let me make sure that this is set up with the right audio input. Yep, headphones. All right. So we're going to dive right into, the untold story of the haunted Shawnee Amusement Park. So, this is being brought to us by the Mystery Archives today.
When a young...
Mystery Archives, storytelling of the mysterious and paranormal. I cover unexplained, real paranormal cases, eyewitness accounts of the supernatural, and much more. And they got, a whole slew of haunted buildings and possessions and stuff like that. So they had a lot to choose from, but I was specifically looking for amusement parks today. Actually, you know what? Ironically enough, I was looking for amusement parks today because I was going to do Clown Court. I was going to do clowncore this morning, but I didn't get up early enough. So you all get pirate winch with big old boobies. Yes, I'm a pirate winch. No, that's how I'm rolling today. But we're going to explore Lake Shawnee Amusement Park. And we'll look at it on the map too in a little bit. But let's get started here first. Let me know how the audio is.
Amusement parks are meant to be the bastions of joy and wonder, where families can escape the stresses of everyday life and immerse themselves in a world of thrills and laughter. However, there's a haunting undercurrent that lurks beneath the surface of these seemingly innocent playgrounds. Abandoned amusement parks in particular possess a palpable sense of unease that permeates the crumbling structures. And
remember what I said at the very beginning here as we moved through here about priming yourself, right? So if you prime yourself that you're going to have eerie feelings, that you're going to be uncomfortable when you get to this place, or there's going to be vibes. Vibes are the paranormal investigation grift special sauce. Vibes are easy. Yeah, I doubt that, because the cold spots are you hear that a lot too, but those are vibes as well. Oh yeah, Sandy, it's like not a, I guess it's not a common thing for people to know, but yeah, Romani is the proper terminology. And I know like a lot of people in your generations, because Cher had an album, and then that was called that, and a lot of the song lyrics and movie names and stuff from the time period. I think people even were named that. Yeah, that it's no, don't leave. That's perfectly fine. I've that you're saying, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, and it's cool. Don't leave. I just started. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell your fortune at this carnival.
And overgrown landscapes. The Shawnee Amusement Park in West Virginia stands as a testament to this unsettling phenomena. Once a bustling hub of entertainment, this forgotten site now exudes an eerie and foreboding atmosphere. Its dilapidated rides and decaying buildings serve as a stark contrast to the joyful memories they once held.
Yeah, we do have our own resident Romani, though. Miss Sumami is Romani. Or part Romani. It's not used like that in the U.S., so people... Yeah, I know. It's so funny how much different weight a word will carry depending on where you're at. Like, piss is a clean word in the U.K., you're taking the piss out of someone when you're making jokes. Cunt in Australia and New Zealand and stuff is like a totally acceptable term of endearment. Yeah, I make Sandy, even watching me long enough to know that I make tons of mistakes. Remember how hard I struggle to say Maori? It's the trying that matters.
The park's troubled past, marked by tragedies and misfortunes, has imbued it with a sinister energy that seems to linger.
The problem with theme parks in the mid-20th century was that they hired unskilled labor to they hired unskilled labor to run them and operate them, and some of the stuff was poorly designed. I mean, they were innovating these whirling, swirling machines for to be run by basically like local yokels, and to be maintained, the maintenance on them and the repairs and everything. Yeah. Ooh, thank you for the $2 super chat. James Nordoff said, pretty sure Scoob and the gang already solved this one. Is the clown with the... Was it the clown with the watch thing? Was that the one?
a specter among the shadows of its abandoned grounds. Whispers of the scariest amusement park in the world and tales of its haunted nature have only added to the allure and trepidation surrounding this forgotten place. The juxtaposition of the once vibrant and smiling faces of the past and the current state of neglect and decay evokes a weird feeling, as if the very essence of the park's former life has been consumed by the darkness that now shrouds it. This unsettling blend of the past and the present, the light and the dark, creates a deeply unsettling and captivating experience that continues to draw in those who dare to venture into its forgotten corners. The Lake Shawnee Amusement Park harbors a dark history. Nestled in Mercer County, just a few miles from Princeton, this once vibrant hub of entertainment now sits abandoned, awaiting for the next round of guests to brave to enter the haunted structures within. The land where the park was built has long since been a burial ground for the Shawnee tribe, with archaeologists estimating that the site may hold remains of as many as 3,000 people. This profound connection to the past would prove to be a harbinger of the park's troubled future. In 1775, a family of white settlers known as the Clays, consisting of the father Mitchell Clay, his wife Phoebe Belcher Clay, and their 3 children, Bartley, Tabitha, and Ezekiel, moved into the remote area and established a homestead directly over the Shawnee burial ground. This act, which disregarded the sacred
So we have in the ancient burial grounds, ancient Indian burial grounds, which is often at the root of all this nonsense.
nature of the land, would set in motion a series of events that would ultimately lead to the park's downfall.
It did
the
it
Clay's
though.
arrival and their
Sounds like causation without correlation without causation necessarily. That I don't mean to jump right into this. We're like 3 minutes into a 28-minute video, but there's gonna be a lot of that where it's just linking a bunch of events. If you have historical records of any location for long enough, you're going to you're going to have a lot of like negative events that you can link all together and say every place is cursed.
respect for the Shawnee's ancestral resting place did not go unnoticed by the local tribe. Tensions escalated, and the Clays soon found themselves embroiled in a violent conflict with the Shawnee, a clash that would leave its indelible mark on the land. The echoes of this tragic history would reverberate through the decades, shaping the dark and unsettling aura that now envelops the abandoned amusement park. The tribe, angered by the desecration of their sacred burial ground, repeatedly warned the Clay family to leave, but they defiantly chose to ignore the warnings. In August of 1783, a group of native tribesmen descended upon the Clay homestead while the father was out hunting. The Shawnee warriors proceeded to brutally murder the youngest son, Bartley, as he worked in the fields, and then scalped his lifeless body. Tabitha, the daughter, was tracked down and viciously stabbed to death. The oldest son, Ezekiel, was not killed outright, but rather kidnapped, dragged away from his home, and later burned at the stake in a horrifying display of violence. When the patriarch of the family returned home to find his children slaughtered, his thirst for vengeance was immediate and unrelenting. He gathered a posse of other settlers and set out to hunt down and take out several of the Shawnee tribespeople in a bloody act of retaliation.
I can overlook a lot of linguistic slips, but preferberate? Yeah, I'm not sure what the definition of preferberate is. I think maybe it was supposed to be reverberate, but preferberate is a fun word in and of itself.
The haunting legacy of the Clay family massacre would linger over the area for years, casting a dark and ominous shadow that deterred most settlers from venturing anywhere near the site. The tragic events that unfolded on this land have infused the abandoned amusement park with something ghostly, as if there were spirits of the past still lingering, unwilling to relinquish their hold on the once vibrant.
It's them vibes again. Always gotta be the vibes, guys.
But now forgotten grounds. By pure coincidence, the land where Conley T. Sneedo chose to erect his amusement park in 1926 harbored a dark and unsettling past. Unbeknownst to him, or perhaps disregarded, this very soil had once been stained by the blood of the Clay family, brutally massacred by the Shawnee tribe in retaliation for desecrating their sacred
Prior to berating a Furby? Maybe. That sounds logical.
burial grounds. Initially, Sneedo's venture seemed innocent enough. A simple affair with swing sets, a Ferris wheel, and a swimming pond, catering to the families of coal miners flocking to the region. However, as the operation expanded, adding a dance hall, concession stands, a swimming pool, motorized rides such as bumper cars, a roller coaster, and then paddle boats, it was as if the amusement park was built upon a foundation of darkness. For a time, the park thrived, a vibrant hub of laughter and joy, with patrons blissfully unaware of the gruesome history that lay beneath their feet. Yet the land's thirst for tragedy seemed insatiable. A foreboding sense lingered.
So, I mean, can you see what I mean about correlation without causation? So there's just this whole tract of land that used to be where the Shawnee lived, right? And this is just one little patch of it. Like, you can look at a map and see what the old Shawnee territory used to look like. And you can see what, so the correlation between this specific isolated location where this carnival is, it's just kind of silly.
Like a specter lurking in the shadows, waiting to cast its sinister veil once more. In the 1950s, the first incident at the park unfolded when a young girl's life was abruptly cut short on the circular swing ride. As the swing hurled at breakneck speed, a truck,
It wasn't quite that advanced of a swing. We'll look at it.
carelessly backed into its path, causing the girl to collide violently against it. Her fragile body no match for the unforgiving force. This tragic event cast a shadow over the entire atmosphere, and the harbinger of darkness that seemed to linger within the park's very foundations was making itself known once again. In 1966, the park's thirst for tragedy was quenched once more when an 11-year-old boy, his
The park's thirst for tragedy. Nom nom nom.
youthful spirit filled with wonder and excitement, ventured too close to the park's murky pond, only to become ensnared in a drainage pipe's unyielding grip.
That sounds like some dinosaur Adventureland nonsense right there. Got more people popping in. Good morning, Scott Duke. Good morning, Secular Dave, Pastor Huckleberry. Good morning, guys.
His cries for help went unanswered, and it wasn't until over a week later that his lifeless body was discovered, the pond's depths having claimed another innocent victim.
How much depth can a pond actually have? I mean, most ponds are only a few meters deep.
These high-profile incidents weren't merely the tip of the iceberg, as whispers of other unsettling occurrences began to circulate. Tales of a man who plunged from the dizzying heights of the Ferris wheel, his motives unknown.
We'll look at the Ferris wheel too, don't worry. We're going to get all up in here.
To the accounts of 6 tragic deaths during the park's years of operation, as told by the current owner, only added to the feelings at the park. In the wake of the young boy's drowning, the Shawnee Lake Amusement Park shuttered its gates for good in 1966. The crumbling structures and overgrown landscapes that now stand as reminders of the park's troubled past.
Well, I'm sure it was an insurance issue. Probably had a hard time getting their insurance company to cover the location after a couple of deaths. Maybe build a fence around your pond. I mean, looking at earlier pictures of this, though, it looks like there was a lot of water activities, like in ponds. Like this was an old timey amusement park, so they had a lot of stuff that was more rustic, I guess, like water slides going into the lake and things like that.
A past that seems unwilling to relinquish its hold on the forgotten grounds, casting something ominous over the now abandoned site. The park's descent into abandonment was a haunting spectacle. Its once vibrant attractions reduced to rusted, decaying relics that pierced through the overgrown landscape like the skeletal remains of...
That doesn't even look like a theme park slide. That looks like a just a regular playground slide.
Long extinct creatures. The site lingered until 1985, when Gaylord White acquired the land, harboring ambitions of resurrecting the park's former glory. However, his efforts were met with resistance, as if the site's troubled history deterred visitors from embracing its revived allure. Despite White's endeavors, the amusement park failed to recapture the magic of its heyday, and after a mere 3 years...
Did we get DM show Raiders? I didn't know Chris was going this morning. I did not know that. When was that?
It was forced to shutter its doors once more. In the wake of its failed revival, the land was transformed into a fishing lake and campground.
I had an interesting experience.
Crumbling ruins remained, their presence serving as a grim reminder of the tragedies that had once unfolded within its boundaries. Whispers of otherworldly occurrences began to circulate. Tales of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena were told
lurkers
at the local bars and on internet message.
Well, I mean, but any small town has, especially about abandoned places, has ghost stories and stuff, right? I mean, there couldn't even be like old bridge pylons next to my little town without having ghost stories attached to them.
Boards. The park's ruins stood as a haunting testament to the complex interplay between human ambition and the lingering echoes of the past. A past that seemed unwilling to be buried. The abandoned grounds of the former Shawnee Lake Amusement Park seemed to be a magnet for paranormal occurrences, and the tales that emerge from its crumbling ruins do not disappoint. Visitors often report an unsettling sensation of being watched.
There we go again. It's the vibes. And that's a lot of religious stuff hinges on vibes too. It's always about and we're going to get into that later on in this show too, but in the next segment where we get weird with it about the Enochian stuff. But it's easy to cultivate vibes. It's easy to fabricate vibes. It's easy to prime yourself to experience vibes. So vibes are not, as much as people like to talk about them and the chills and everything, as much as they like to talk about them, they're the worst type of evidence is vibes.
Followed, as if unseen eyes linger in the shadows. Sudden waves of panic or overwhelming dread wash over some, leaving them with a feeling that defies a rational explanation. Chilling accounts speak of disembodied hands pressing upon shoulders, or the feeling of being pushed or tapped by an invisible force. Objects have been known to move on their own accord, defying the laws of physics. while shadowy figures lurk among the deteriorating rides, adding to the park's sinister
I don't think there's much left of the deteriorating rides in this place.
ambiance. The swings, once a symbol of childhood joy, now creak back and forth in the absence of wind, as if propelled by unseen hands.
Have you tried spending the night in the cemetery, Scott Duke? I think that might be the ticket. Spend the night there. Maybe bring yourself a little stove and make some marshmallows and hot cocoa. Get your sleeping bag. Yeah.
Orbs of light float through the overgrown weeds, their ethereal glow beckoning the curious and the brave. Small child-sized apparitions have been...
Wait, we got Willow the Wisp out there, which, yeah, let's look at this place real quick, since I'm talking about it. So Lake Shawnee. Right there's Lake Shawnee. And there's the amusement park. And you see here's the... I don't know which one of these ponds the kid perished in. But it would have been one of these. Let's see how far down we can get in here, though. So we can get pretty close. Let's start up here. Okay. So there's a big fence around the place. And you can see some of the structures and stuff across the way. We're going to go... See, it's not very big. It was like a, small town amusement park. Let's see if I can get around over here on this side of it. I may have to pull back out and see. No trespassing, of course. Oh, here for the brie flavored vibe, says Ember Bellrad for $2. Thank you so much, babe. Love ya. Thank you for bringing your A game every week on the transpositions too. Ember is, my friend and co-host and co-producer. Love you, babe. Can I get in right here? Trying to see how I'm going to be able to break into this place to... Yeah, I can jump that cattle guard on my bicycle. I'll build a ramp. Jump right over it, and I'll be into the carnival. Now, but there's somebody who does a tour of this place in a minute that we're going to watch. So let's get back to the video.
Reported dashing among the rustling hulks of long-forgotten rides, as if waiting to turn in a ticket for one final time. Even the spirits of the land's original inhabitants, the Native Americans, are said to make their presence known, with shadowy figures skulking about in the darkness, their whispers carried on the wind. The sounds that permeate the abandoned...
Bree's vibes taste like victory. I hope so. It's late night from Mr. Mark Reed. East Arkansas and Mississippi cemeteries can be very spooky. I like a forested cemetery. I like when there's big oak trees. What? Yeah, we gotta stay awake now because we're telling ghost stories.
And in park only add to its creepy feeling, with a disembodied laughter echoing through the stillness, as if the ghosts of children still linger, frozen in time. Whispers seem to come from directly behind people, sending chills down the spines of those brave enough to venture into the park's forgotten corners. Shouts and strange chanting, perhaps in a Native American language, have also been reported.
Perhaps in a Native American language, perhaps, but they don't know. Language, you just stick around because we're going to talk about language here in the next segment of the show. Language is going to come up, and I don't even know where to begin. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about. But let's stick with the haunted carnival ghost for now.
Perhaps most unsettling are the accounts of those who have captured photographic evidence of the park's paranormal activity. Numerous visitors have been shocked to discover ghostly figures or shadowy apparitions lurking within their photographs. Whispers echo through the abandoned grounds, tales of a restless spirit bound to the very swings that once brought her joy.
So that's one of the ghosts. Like, it's like, I love you, John. It's like the people leave offerings on these swings, on the swing sets, right? And it adds to the creepy atmosphere, and it helps prime you to the thought that there's a little girl ghost running around there.
It is
lo
here,
and behold,
amidst the rusted frames and tangled vines, that the ghostly presence of a young girl lingers, her essence forever tethered to the tragic moment when her life was cut short. The White family, in their pursuit to resurrect the park's former glory, unknowingly invited...
One of the... You missed it. It happened before, but one of the deaths was very much in line with the...
Yesterday I dropped...
Oh, I keep hitting that wrong button and open up Chris Mallard stuff. One of the kids drowned in a pond, just like the Dinosaur Adventureland. So clearly haunted by the IRS, no doubt.
Did this haunting specter into their midst. They acquired the original swing set, unaware of the dark history it carried, and inadvertently provided a conduit for the girl's spirit to manifest. Those who dare to venture near the swings often recount several weird encounters. A single swing, marked by a crimson ribbon, seems to beckon visitors with an unseen force. Yet it is the adjacent seat, adorned with an owl ornament, that appears to be her favorite haunt. On days
imagine
when
the ornaments are changing pretty regularly. I mean, this thing's been sitting abandoned for over 30 years now.
Owl seems to sway and dance, as if propelled by an invisible breeze. Visitors have reported feeling an icy chill caress their skin, or the weight of an unseen entity settling.
Ghosts love to swing. I've noticed that. It's almost like things that the wind can do, ghosts can do too. There's always this correlation of, if the wind can blow it, it could be a ghost swinging it too, right? Especially when you're doing this stuff outdoors. Evangelicals love kids so much they can't even bother to watch them after they're born.
Beside them, on the swing's weathered plank, some have even claimed to hear the faint echoes of childlike laughter, tinged with a melancholic undertone, carried on the wind's whispers. These unsettling occurrences have left many questioning the boundaries between the realms of the living and the dead, and wondering if the girl's spirit remains bound to this place, forever seeking the joy and innocence that was so cruelly stolen from her. Also lingering with the abandoned park's confines is the restless...
That kind of looks like the surface of Jupiter. Neat.
Spirit of the young boy, whose life was also tragically cut short, but by the murky depths of the lake.
Yeah.
His ghostly presence seems to wander the grounds, drawn particularly to the front entrance.
I wonder if the owner of the park at the time went to the hospital and handed out business cards for the park at the hospital where the boy drowned. So I hear that park owners do that. Like if someone drowns in your theme park, you go to the hospital where the kid was taken and you pass out your theme park business cards. That's how you do it.
As if driven by a compulsion to safeguard visitors from the fate that he could not escape. Near the lake's edge, a simple white plastic pinwheel affixed to an old ticket booth appears to serve as a conduit between his ethereal realm and the world of the living.
I wouldn't expect a plastic pinwheel to last very long either.
This unassuming pinwheel exhibits an ability to move and spin without the aid of any discernible breeze. Its movements, controlled by an invisible force, seem to
called the wind. It's a pinwheel. It's a pinwheel, babe. The invisible force has a name that moves the pinwheel.
Respond to the beckoning of those brave enough to engage with it. Witnesses have told chilling encounters where the pinwheel's rotation accelerates, slows, or halts entirely in response to spoken commands.
Okay, just to clarify, yeah, this is a pinwheel. There's an invisible force making it spin at different rates, and sometimes not making it spin at all. What could that force be, Hive? What would you call that force that's outside and acting on a pinwheel? What would you name that force?
As if the little boy is answering their questions, or simply acknowledging their existence. Along with the apparitions, another phenomena has been experienced in the park as well. Voices echoing from realms beyond our comprehension. These chilling recordings, captured by the intrepid poly gear of mountaineer ghosts.
Ooh, are we talking EVPs now? Of course we are. Don't give Hovind ideas. He'll probably try to market it as a Holy Spirit, or Holy Ghost, the Holy Ghost, yeah.
Offer a haunting glimpse.
I would feel any bad for any child forced to haunt Dinosaur Adventureland. Oh my lord.
To the unseen forces that linger amidst the decaying structures. One such encounter occurred when gear ventured to knock the weathered siding of an abandoned trailer. The silence that followed was shattered by a gruff, disembodied voice that seemingly commanded them to please leave. The ominous utterance sent shivers down the spines of those present.
Okay.
As if the very spirits of the park were issuing a warning.
You all know how I feel about EVPs, right? It's pareidolia for your ears. Because you can like listen to something. If someone tells you what it says, if someone says, if you listen to this, it says "get out." And you listen to it, you can put that "get out" over top of what the sound you hear. If the person says, it actually says "lay down," and you listen to it again, like, oh, it does say "lay down." So that's why EVPs kind of, it's the power of suggestion.
Trespassers. Another bone-chilling recording took place between the rusted frames of the Ferris wheel as two friends conversed, their voices mingling within the stillness. A sudden interruption pierced the air. A shockingly clear, high-pitched voice, perhaps that of a young girl, uttering the
Perhaps that of a young girl.
haunting words, "won't talk." Yet the unsettling phenomena does not end there. In the same location, another
I gotta say, I love the aesthetic of the creepy freaking abandoned Ferris wheel. Like, I love it. I love this image right here. Like, let's just bask in that real quick. That's beautiful. The sunset behind it and the red and blue and gray. Beautiful.
Was captured. What sounded like the wistful plea of a child's voice, whispering either, "I want to swing," or "I'm on a swing." Above all the other haunting scenery located in the park.
Depending on what you primed yourself to hear. Priming is important for all ghostly experiences.
The abandoned swings stand as an unsettling beacon, an area that seems to have more activity than the rest of the park combined. Several visitors tell terrifying encounters as the rusted chains creak and groan, seemingly propelled by unseen forces.
Again, a similar unseen force to the one that blew the pinwheel, I'm sure.
Sudden chills caress the skin, and an overwhelming sense of dread washes over the unweary.
There's them vibes that we discovered too. Vibes. Priming yourself to get those vibes. Vibes are the easiest thing to sell to an audience when you take them on a ghost tour. Yeah. That's what you're selling. That's what those ghost tour people are doing. That's their hustle, is they're selling vibes to you. They're taking you to some place with a creepy aesthetic and selling you vibes.
as if they've trespassed into a realm where the boundaries between the living and the dead blur. At the heart of these unsettling occurrences lies the persistent sightings of a ghostly young girl, her form clad in a ruffled pink dress stained with the crimson hues of tragedy. Some claim to have witnessed her spectral figure swaying upon the swing. Others recount her haunting presence lingering nearby, her gaze piercing through the veil that separates our world. The park's current owner.
And again, this ghost, the little girl, was slammed into the side of a truck on a swing, like a high speed. So she's probably looking pretty gnarly, pretty freaky.
A man who has stared into the abyss of the unknown tells his own chilling encounters with the girl's spirit. He speaks.
I like carnivals, don't get me wrong. I love going to carnivals. I love funnel cakes, and I love cotton candy. I'm a sucker for junk food. The fairs around here will have the carnivals that come with them, and yeah, I like got lemon shake up. When I was a kid, they used to have this thing called Cozy Dog. It was like a giant hot dog. I used to love, like a giant corn dog, I guess I should say, like a bigger corn dog than you'd ever think about, and it was massive. So carnival food is the smell of carnival food, the smell and the sound of a carnival actually, like speaks to me, like it draws me. And I haven't been to a carnival in almost a decade though, since my kids were little. I probably should go maybe to like a street carnival or something while I'm down here. We're gonna go. BB and Ben were talking about wanting to go to that Odyssey Expo now too. So that's coming up in March, and that's gonna be fun. It's like taxidermy and stuff. It'll be really cool. I kind of wish that I miss my taxidermy stuff.
Speaks of moments when his body froze, paralyzed by her ethereal gaze, as if she held dominion over him. His words paint a vivid picture of the strange sensations that permeate the swing's vicinity.
That's true,
Seats
Scott.
swaying without wind, icy blasts of cold air caressing the skin.
You see swings without wind because you don't understand how wind works, and that it works and it comes in channels. And just because you're not feeling wind in this vicinity doesn't mean there's not wind up high at the top of that chain that's causing that to rattle. Maybe the answer, or maybe it's because you first met Mothman at a carnival. Yeah, me and Mothman go way back. Mothman was one of my first crushes, my first monster crushes. My first monster crush was actually Jason Voorhees, but I digress. It's like, I want him to grab me by the neck like that. But I digress. Merry-go-rounds quickly turning and turning till you can't see. We're on a carousel, a crazy carousel.
In an inexplicable warmth radiating from the very center, as if the girl's essence lingers here, forever bound to the place where her life was extinguished. In a haunting recollection shared with the Travel Channel, the owner's words
I like that image too, with the Ferris wheel in the water. Beautiful.
Words echo with the weight of one who was born witness to the unexplainable. Sometimes the seat will start to move or sway your hand till you feel cold air blowing through the seat. And then you get to the middle and you feel something warm. And we believe that that's her spirit.
But that's not
certain areas.
That's not this Ferris wheel that we're talking about, though, for sure. Yeah, I want to see Nosferatu. I want to see Wicked first, though. Wicked's been out longer. I haven't seen Wicked yet.
Seem to exert an unsettling pull, drawing in paranormal occurrences like moths to a flame. The Ferris wheel, its rusted frame frozen.
Cotton candy is one of my weaknesses. Ben made me a drink over the holidays that tasted like cotton candy, and holy moly. Is an elephant ear like a beaver tail?
In time, has become a haunting focal point for unexplained sightings. Visitors have reported glimpsing shadowy figures seated within the precarious confines of its cars, particularly the one locked eternally
There we go.
at the 9 o'clock position. Some even claim to have witnessed ghostly apparitions plummeting from
There's
the
like a
heights
person,
of the Ferris
though.
wheel,
There is something there physically.
only to vanish into the ether.
I mean, that image, there is something behind that. It's not in the car, it's behind it, but something hanging there. But people are hanging all kinds of stuff on these carnival rides, so I'm honestly not surprised by that.
Leaving onlookers questioning the boundaries of reality. Could these spectral forms be the lingering essence of the unfortunate souls purportedly leapt to their demise from the Ferris wheel's lofty perch? Or are they merely tricks of light and shadow?
I don't like carnival. I don't generally like rides, period. I like. Shouldn't say I don't like rides, period. I do like a Ferris wheel, as long as it's not too fast. And I like rapid rides, like Thunder River, where you get in the thing and it takes you around like a track of whitewater rapids. I like those, and log flumes, where it's like the log, you ride in the log and it goes down. But roller coasters, I do not do. You will not get me on a roller coaster. I used to be able to do spinny rides, but as I get older, I can't. They'll make me puke. I can't handle them. Why did I lose my signal? Hopefully that was just there. I can't spin a lot. BB spun me in the pool the other night, and that was quite enough. Quite enough spinning for me. But I used to like the tilt-a-whirl and things like that, but I just can't anymore. And a lot of rides now, like when I ride them, because I'm old, they hurt my back and hurt my butt. And they leave me achy for the next few days. That might just be because I'm out of shape too, though. Like, I imagine if I got in better shape, it wouldn't be such a big problem. Oh, I hate the Gravitron. It's the worst. When I went on my first date with my ex-wife, we went to a carnival, and I tried to ride everything with her, and I can't. So I rode the Gravitron and puked all over the place. It was bad. I could not handle it. My stomach does not. I don't have the stomach for it.
Cast by the encroaching vegetation that clings to the decaying metal structure. The uncertainty only adds to the feel of the abandoned amusement park. The park's murky, drained pond also harbors its share of haunting tales. Fishermen casting their lines into the stagnant waters have reported sightings of shadowy figures gliding beneath the surface.
Ooh. Their
forms distorted by the rippling depths.
See, when I was a kid, the tilt-a-whirl was my favorite, Fox. It's I can't ride it anymore, though. Or the scrambler. No Rocco planes. That Rocco plane's a spinning cage Ferris wheel. No, not for Bree. No. I'm trying to think. I do like the big slides. Like the big slides that you go down and they give you the rug or whatever to sit on. I do like those. And I can have a lot of fun in a bounce house. Have a lot more fun in a bounce house if I'm not alone.
Inexplicable waves and disturbances have been known to ripple across the pond's surface, as if something unseen lurks below, stirring the waters.
The octopus is another one I cannot handle. The octopus or spiders. I think it's the same thing. The one that spins and they go up and down. The octopus or spider. No teacups for Bree. Again, teacups are basically like a scrambler, but I can't do those. Not at all. The scramblers I used to do when I was younger, the tilt-a-whirl and stuff, but I can't. I've never been able to do a Gravitron, and Ferris wheels have always terrified me. I don't know if say terrified me. They make it so I can't breathe and I have to throw up. They stress me out. They too much anxiety.
with its presence. Some brave souls who have ventured into the pond's embrace have even claimed to feel an unseen
Yeah, so if you're going to take me on a memorable date, a carnival's probably not the best place to take me. A haunted house would be great. That's more my speed.
Force tugging at them, as if an entity from beyond seeks to pull them under and hold them within its watery embrace.
Because it's pulling on their fishing line? There's you're taking it to the extremes, right?
Public concession stands, once bustling hubs of activity, now stand as silent sentinels, their empty shells bearing witness to haunting apparitions. Visitors have reported sightings of what appear to be Native American figures.
Oh yeah, you can't, like Hell House, yeah, you can't stop me in a haunted house. I'm like, there's some of those hell houses though that don't actually have an exit to them. That's what's bullshit. That you have to give up because there's no way out.
Aimlessly wandering those abandoned structures, their presence shrouded in mystery. What draws these spectral forms to this forgotten place? Their motives remain obscured. The history of the unexplained.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. It's not so much a fear, it's an inner ear thing, right? And I get vertigo. I get vertigo after about 60 feet.
Coupled with the undeniably bizarre ambiance that shrouds this place, have transformed
Oh, you talk about the Christian hell houses. I love those. You gotta get like graffiti on the wall and stay away from birth control and all that. Love it.
And in Shawnee Lake Amusement Park into a mecca for those seeking a brush with the supernatural or the macabre. It has become a prime destination for paranormal investigators, ghost hunters, and thrill seekers alike. The park's reputation has captured the attention of numerous television programs.
When I was in high school, my high school band worked in a buffet-based restaurant on the grounds of the state fair. I never consumed fair food or carnival food after that.
Each seeking to uncover the sinister forces that lurk just beneath the surface. Some of these shows claim to have encountered genuine brushes with supernatural entities.
Let's see them.
But are these encounters true?
Yeah, let's
mere
show me.
Entertainment? While these paranormal reality shows undoubtedly seek to amplify the spooky factor, the accounts they present cannot always be so easily dismissed. They offer glimpses into the haunting phenomena that seem to permeate the grounds.
Mark, yeah, I didn't realize you were talking about specifically the Christian ones when it comes to hell houses, because there's the big amusement parks, or the big amusement, not amusement park, the big haunted house in St. Louis is called the Hell House, and it's really cool. It's like multiple stories,
beckoning those with insatiable curiosity for the unknown to venture forth. The abandoned Shawnee Lake Amusement Park now embraces its haunting legacy, inviting the intrepid to unravel the sinister secrets that lurk within its crumbling confines. While the park's grounds remain accessible for fishing and camping, the dilapidated rides and structures themselves are off limits for most of the year because their decaying state poses potential hazards to the unwary. However, from October the 25th to the 31st, the park opens its gates for the Dark Carnival event, offering daring souls the opportunity to embark on haunting tours and experience a chilling haunted house attraction.
I would go. You can actually go camping here too. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I know I talked about priming and being a tour guide on these, because they're giving tours. That's why they set this atmosphere, and that's why they keep it creepy.
Visitors are guided through the park's crumbling ruins, their footsteps echoing through the desolate concession stands and past the rusted frames, the Ferris wheel, where spectral figures are...
It's mostly just the as far as the carnival rides, it's mostly just the swings and the Ferris wheel. There's like bumper cars and some concession stands and outbuildings and stuff. But as far as big rides, I believe it's just those two.
Still said to linger to the depths of the drained pond. And at the heart of it all, the abandoned swings still stand, their rusted chains creaking and groaning.
In the wind.
For those unwilling to brave the guided tours, the surrounding woods offer camping opportunities through the looming presence of the amusement park's ruins, piercing through the tree line, casting an ominous shadow over the landscape.
Come on, Hive road trip.
If abandoned sites invoke an unsettling chill, then forsaken amusement parks must be the epitome of haunted.
Epitome? Oh, sweetie, it's epitome. Epitome. I used to think it was epitome too, though. That's how epitome's spelled.
Abandoned parks with a legacy of death and tragedy are about as spine-tingling as it gets. Whether or not any authentic spectral entities linger here, an undeniable air of desolation, abandonment, and bleak dread hangs heavy in the air, as if accumulating a debt of fear for every child's smile that once graced its now rusted, time-worn gaze.
Epitome.
Is this sense of foreboding and our tendency to perceive phantoms in such locations merely illusions and tall tales?
It's the epitome of an illusion.
Projections of our morbid curiosity and innate aversion to the discarded, unwanted places of our world.
Right, it's like, you ever seen the movie 1408 at the beginning? John Cusack's character is, that's like where I am on haunted stuff right now. It's like, ghosts seem to be a convenient fallback plan when the highway skirts around your little town and your in your bed and breakfast isn't getting quite the visitors that it used to.
Or do some of these sites truly harbor or channel forces beyond our comprehension? Perhaps the answer lies in a daring nighttime stroll through the hollow shell.
Where is this at? That's what I want to know. I want to know where I can ride a freaking carousel in a foggy fairy forest. Can you make that a thing that happens to breathe?
What was once Shawnee Lake Amusement Park, if you possess the fortitude to confront the unknown. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest video. Please don't forget to subscribe with notifications on, share, and comment.
We'll probably revisit this guy though. I had fun with this one. We did the Bridgeport haunting. Mother of Darkness. There's a goat. There's a freaking goat. Yeah. We got to do the goat at some point. The goat's the newest video. It's 3 days ago. That's why I might have covered that one if it wasn't. If I hadn't already decided on the amusement parks. But yeah, there's stuff for getting weird with it too, like demonology and stuff, which we're gonna get into in just a minute, or angelology. But anyway, that was the untold story talking about this. Now these people actually went out here, and we're gonna check this out real quick. Obviously not the whole thing, but just to look at the site. Because this person actually shows us pictures of the real location instead of showing it. I'm turning a note down because that music seems like it might be copyrighted. This person actually shows us pictures of the real amusement park. So you can kind of see what it looks like. And there's still going to be so many critters in those, in all that foliage that there's not surprising that they're seeing chains and stuff moving in here and creaks and groans. All right.
We're kind of like in the middle of redneck land, aren't we? Yeah. We're trying to get to the amusement park. Like we're driving into some random property.
It is.
I saw a post. Interesting area.
Oh, get seasick.
I know, it's actually very bumpy.
You're in the mountains, brah.
Oh, we took a few pictures. We paid for the tour, and now we're, I think, just following everyone to the actual thing.
This is
There's
the ghost
actual
tour.
lake. I hear buzzing and bugs.
They're gonna make a big deal about that lake in a minute, but here's the Ferris wheel. It's like a ticket booth. There's the swings. All the little trinkets and stuff people leave for them. Abandoned vehicles. There's a few abandoned vehicles on the property, so. Paddle boats. And they make a really big deal about a muskrat in a minute.
That's interesting.
So before I show you guys what I caught on camera, I thought I should tell you guys a little bit more about Lake Shawnee. This amusement park first opened in 1926 and closed in 1960. Pretty haunted. Not just pretty haunted, I mean the world's most haunted amusement park. And this is one of the few
That
times
sounds
I
like
actually
something
caught
to sell.
A little weird on camera.
Yep.
Roll it. No, that's not a fish.
That can't be a fish.
Something swimming.
It's
I
a,
don't know.
That's strange.
as fast as it's moving, I think it's a muskrat.
No.
That can't be a fish.
But it may be, it could be a fish. Or a turtle. But I think it's a muskrat.
But I've never seen a snake on this property. It'll be the first time I see it.
Well, that snake is going to be drowning.
You never see a snake on this property. Yeah, but you're in West Virginia. I mean, it's not like there's not snakes.
There are some snakes that live in water.
I love Dolly. I like Dollywood, too. There's more to do than ride rides at Dollywood, though. I could have a hell of a time at Dollywood.
I don't know about you, but I'm going to blame it on the ghost kids. I don't know, guys. I don't see what it is.
Now, I don't know much about animals and water creatures, but this is a little confusing. But this dumbfounded, like, everyone.
Insane.
That might be a little more difficult.
That's impossible. That's what you're telling me.
This is the tour guide.
1966. The mother drops her son off that morning. She returns in time for the lifeguard to blow the 5 o'clock whistle. Her son's nowhere to be found. She thinks that he walked on. She goes to the house.
Well, this is a close-up. Lots of foliage covering it.
Yeah. Here's one of our favorite numbers.
8. Yeah, we'll walk away, and then no, it didn't. I don't really talk to ghosts much.
I'm wearing beads like that today.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how creepy is this to you?
Maybe a 1.
1.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's a 10.
Because you're primed and he's not. He's not primed for it. Yeah, I love the way people speak. Foliage. But, no, because Dolly is the goat. Her legacy will stand. Dolly is the goat. Who's talking bad about Dolly? Anyway, yeah, so they explore.
Active at night. I think I've been on one of these once,
Yeah, I think you were.
but only once.
Well, no one's been on one of those in like 60 years because they don't make them like that anymore with the wooden benches and the strap across your. It's they're much more advanced and safer now.
Creepy van.
Creepy van.
Okay, it may just be me, but I swear I just heard a little scream. It might just be a kid or something. No, I mean like.
I'm hearing
No, I mean,
highway
like,
traffic.
back there, like if there's another. Would this be considered a lavender field? What is this? Looks like springtime flowers.
I can't tell because you're not
Oh
focusing.
yeah, that's
enough.
why your
Sorry.
allergies are acting up. All these flowers.
I would have ID'd that for you, but you were wiggly, too wiggly for me to ID those plans.
Another memorial.
Yes, the Island of the Dolls is creepy too. We should do the Island of the Dolls sometime. We did actually no, we did do Island of the Dolls. Hold on, I'll drop a link to it. It was in the old doll episode, so from March 18th. We did some doll shop. Did we? Maybe we didn't go to the aisle of the dolls. We looked at Robert the doll. And we shot for some dolls. That was way, way back. I was like, I don't know if I was early in my transition or what, but yeah.
No.
I'm not dropping the
So
link
right
to that,
around
though.
here was that weird thing that swam by and baffled everyone. What would your explanation for that is?
Way, way back.
That didn't seem right. what kind of animal or water thing would swim like that?
Not many. This was a very big bug.
That would be like some kind of prehistoric.
It's more than likely some kind of aquatic animal, not a. Oh, I mean, it could be like a bug or bugs skating across the surface. Sure, that happens. It didn't look like that to me, like something moving underneath the water, but it's hard to say.
Bug. Something just turned a game on your phone. I don't think my camera, and I'm not sure if it picked it up, but it was like some kind of spooky music on a game or something that turned on. Creepy.
Yeah.
Homie really wants
Yeah.
there to be something going on here, but I don't think there's anything going on here. So that's Lake Shawnee. I don't know if you can see the Ferris wheel and stuff from up here or not. So I don't know what direction to look to see This is as close down as we can get, though. But the Ferris wheel's not huge. I don't like they're talking about, oh, someone plummeted from the deadly heights of the Ferris wheel. That Ferris wheel didn't really, I mean, just in my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that big. It looks like it's maybe 30 feet tall. Which, I mean, yeah, you can definitely get hurt falling from that, and it can kill you if you land wrong. But it's like most people would survive that fall. I mean,
Well, this is
we should go there, though. You want to go there, Hive? Let's get together and go to Shawnee Lake Amusement Park. Or Lake Shawnee, sorry, I said it backwards. Lake Shawnee Amusement Park, and see if we can run into any ghost or apparitions. See if we can hear any laughing children or see any chains swinging against the wind and all that stuff. Let's do it. Do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe that this amusement park is haunted? Do you know of any other haunted amusement parks that we should have looked at instead of this one? Yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time. All right, that was Cryptic Corner for you guys. We're not done yet, though. We have more show ahead, so don't go anywhere. Stick around and hang out with me, and we will move on into the next segment of the show. Now, I do want to let you all know that usually I do like these little interlude things. Today we're doing something kind of special, and if you hadn't noticed, at the beginning of the show I played a different intro song, right? Completely different version, same intro song, but different version of the song, right? I have versions of it from all different kinds of music, and I'm going to, instead of doing an intermission each time, this time I'm going to play, and you all get to vote on which one's the best. And I'm going to do like a poll at the end of the show. Okay, so stick around. Are you going to bed, Mark? I hope you had fun in Cryptic Corner. All right, so here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to switch back over. I'll start playing the one that we had up, but then I'll switch it over to the brass one. Now the brass one's the one we're doing next. Okay, so I'm going to take an intermission. I'm going to go refill my coffee, and I am going to let you all hear this cover. right, my beauties and bees, welcome to the show where we get really weird with it. And today is no exception. We're going to be talking to angels. Do you know how to talk to angels? Do you know the secret language to talk to angels? Well, if you don't, you better get on board with us right now, because that's where we're headed. Because today we're learning about what's Enochian. All right, so what is Enochian? Well, it has a sordid history, but I'm excited to share it with you. Let's do this. If you're not familiar with early occultism, people like to talk a lot about like John Smith and his interpreting the golden plates and stuff, but he wasn't the first one to pull that kind of grift. Oh, hold on. This doesn't need to be that small anymore, I don't think, because there's no person down in the corner. There we go.
Fallen angels were cast to the earth. In the ancient past, fallen angels were cast to the earth and lived amongst humans and even had relationships with them. In this video, we will look at 3 concepts of a type of language between fallen angels and human beings. The 3 concepts that we will look at is the Enochian language, unciphered text and hieroglyphs, and megalithic sites. In the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 9, it lays the foundation for the concept of these angels on the earth. And it reads, "So the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast to the earth, and his angels were cast."
That old serpent. But that's why people assume the serpent in the garden and the devil are one and the same.
Cast out with him. The first concept that we will look at is the Enochian language. The widespread understanding of the Enochian language come from John Dee and Edward Kelly. John Dee was a mathematician, an astronomer, a teacher, an occultist, and an alchemist.
And most importantly, a grifter.
He was said to be an intense Christian, but through his study of religion and spirituality and the times that he lived in, led him to search out spiritual matters in all ways that he possibly could. John Dee was an advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, and she relied upon him heavily for guidance. He's not the first magician to, make the royalty favor his predictions. I mean, you have Nostradamus, and you had obviously maybe one of the most famous, maybe the last one of the that was in the 20th century was Rasputin. But yeah, the royal magician. As John Dee combined science and spiritualism to rise to the high rankings of the Elizabethan politics, in his letters to Queen Elizabeth, he would sign them 007, which later was used to influence the movies James Bond. As the story goes, one day John Dee was the original 007. A long, intense prayer when all of a sudden the angel Uriel showed up and gave John a crystal the size of an egg. Uriel said through looking into the crystal, he could contact angels. But after weeks and
weeks... Now, this is where things come in, like, where you kind of feel like John Smith might have, like, read the biography of John Dee and been like, okay, here's how you do it. Because he's like, oh, yeah, an angel gave me this magic crystal. And he has the crystal.
Weeks of trying to look into the crystal under the guidelines of Uriel's directions, John Dee had no success. Until one day a man came up and introduced himself. This man was Edward Kelly. Edward Kelly was an English Renaissance occultist and scryer. Depictions of Edward Kelly show him wearing a hat because it said his ears were cropped, a punishment that was known to be given to people caught in forgery. So, again, and that's another thing in common with John Smith. Keep this in mind. John Smith was also had previously been prosecuted for fraud. I mean, forgery, fraud, yeah. Dee told Edward Kelly about the stone and the interaction with Uriel. John was shocked when Edward Kelly was the first person to be able to look into the stone and actually get a message from an angel through it.
I bet he was. I'd get an angel through your stone too if you give me a chance. And yeah, this is this is convenient, right? Uriel gives him the stone, and then Edward Kelly comes up. Is like, oh, I can read what the stone says. But wait till we get to what. Thank you for the congrats on the 500 the transpositions. Please go check it out.
Process of looking into a stone or a reflective surface for messages from the other side or the spirit realm is known as scrying. John Dee and Edward Kelly would scry for hours every single day. Here is actually John Dee's obsidian mirror that was used for scrying sessions. This is in the British Museum. And here's another one of John Dee's items that he called the Seal of God. This item was used for...
It doesn't even shape like a seal. Does not look like a seal. Where's its flippers?
The stone or mirror to be placed on to see and talk to the angels. From 1581 to 1585, John Dee and Edward Kelly began performing long series of these spiritual methods to contact the angels. At the age of 54, Dee wrote in his personal journal that God had sent, quote, good angels to communicate directly with mankind. Hundreds of these...
I saw one was named Raphael. Good angels. Now, when it comes to these cult leaders, I want you to keep in mind that there's always a running theme that sooner or later, God always tells his prophet, I need to fuck your wives.
These spiritual conversations were recorded in his journals. During these sessions is where they gained the knowledge of what they called the Enochian language. And actually, John Dee himself never described the language as Enochian. That's what it has grown to be known as through the years, but he referred to it as angelical or the celestial speech, the first language of God/Christ, or particularly Adamical. That's because he asserted that it was used by Adam in the Garden of Eden.
Just asserted it. And this is just like making up their own language as they go.
To name all of God's creatures. Dee and Edwards came to believe that this was the primordial language or the first language ever, and actually the language of angels and the language they would use to communicate with God. Through these sessions was given to them the Enochian alphabet. The script is written from right to left and may include accents. The Enochian letters have English letter equivalents, with some of the letters' names pronounced as they would be in English, but many are pronounced differently.
So is English derived from Enochian then? Or maybe you all made up Enochian and tried to make it different by going right to... What did they say? Right to left? And yeah, making it weird.
They're given in the original Enochian language and a modern English translation based on John Dee's old English versions. Now, while it's said John Dee was an intense Christian, the state of the world and the society of the time somehow didn't show to these men that what they were doing was a wrong spiritual practice. During the end of their time together, Edward Kelly heard in one of his spiritual interactions that him and John Dee were supposed to share their wives with each other.
See, that's what it always comes down to. If you're a cult leader, eventually, inevitably, no doubt at all, that at some point, the angels or God himself is going to tell you need to fuck your congregation's wives. And you got to do it because that's what God orders. When God says, fuck them wives, you fuck them wives.
John Dee was confounded and not happy with this, but then the men together went into another one of their seance scryer sessions, and the angel confirmed to the both of them that this was something that they should do. The diary of John Dee said that he was in great amazement and grief as he did not want to have to share his wife with Edward Kelly. On the 21st...
That is always the rule. If you cannot be a prophet or leader or you cannot have your own cult unless you're fucking their wives. I think it's just, at this point, it's just good business.
1st of May 1587, Dee confirmed that the wife share had taken place with just 2 words in Latin in his diary, pactum factum, or pact fulfilled. After this event, things were not the same between Dee and Kelly. Around this...
I bet this ear-cropped forgery guy who'd been arrested for committing fraud and forgery just banged your wife and now you don't want to hang out with him anymore. I get it.
This time, both men went their separate ways. John Kelly went back to his home in England, and when he arrived, to his surprise, he found his house and his beloved library and estates in ruins. Edward Kelly, while for a short period of time, rose to prominence in the Bohemian Assembly and was granted Czech citizenship where he could own property, but things didn't stay too good for him too long, where he ended up spending time with bad company, caught up in debts, and lost favor with the emperor and ended up in debtor's prison. Isaiah 8:19 says, and when they say to you...
So, yeah, as far as... He's a grifter. He was a professional grifter. It just, this is the same thing with John Smith.
Seek those who are mediums and wizards, who whisper and mutter. Should not a people seek their God? Should they seek the dead on behalf of the living? Galatians 1:8 verse 9 gives us more wisdom into this topic and says, but even if we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel to you than that which we have preached to you, let him be accursed. As we have said before, so now I say again, if anyone preaches any other gospel to you than what you have received, let him be accursed. While the Enochian...
Well, yeah, I pretty much, what I'm going to say is if you're scrying and the angels tell you that you should do some wife swapping, that maybe you should question the person you're scrying with.
Language is a somewhat modern version of a claimed connection of a language between fallen angels and humankind. In my opinion, there are ancient connections to this in a few ways. One of those ways is unciphered languages and hieroglyphs. Revelation 12:9 and Genesis 6:4, as well as other verses, tell us that fallen angels interacted with human beings. The languages of these ancient cultures that have not yet been deciphered, I believe, could document the history of that. A few examples of undeciphered writing systems are the Indus script.
But I don't think that Edward Kelly was actually reading any kind of forbidden language. I think Dee and Kelly were kind of fabricating this through... But kind of feeding into each other's beliefs that they were having these experiences. And then eventually Kelly is like, I get this guy on my snares now. I could tell him that, these angels are telling us anything and he's going to believe me and he's going to do it. And he did. And he did.
Also known as the Herpan script, is a corpus of symbols produced by the Indus Valley civilization. This is said to be between 3,300 and 1,900 BC. The Olmec hieroglyphs designate a possible system of writing or proto-writing, writing with pictures developed within the Olmec culture. This is said to be around 600 BC, possibly the oldest Mesoamerican script. Rongo Rongo is a system of glyphs
I like Rongo Rongo, by the way. Rongo Rongo is neat.
Discovered in the 19th century on Rapa Nui that appears to be writing or proto-writing. Rapa Nui is also known as Easter Island.
Yeah.
Hieroglyphs tell a story. The same way I can show you these meme
You're going to tell us this is telling us the story. Is go to church and pray, and God will bring blessings to you.
Sequences, and you understand what I'm saying, is the same thing these hieroglyphs once did for the people of that region. Here are a few hieroglyphs and petroglyphs showing the offspring of fallen angels, their giant Nephilim children.
So that's just silly, right? Like, because ancient art was really... Some ancient art, not all of it. Some ancient art was really bad at depicting... Some modern art's bad at depicting children. That doesn't mean that they are... Yeah, it's Rongo Rongo. It's the Rapa Nui.
We see these in
language.
Egypt, Assyria, Algeria, Chile, and Native America, to name a few. Cities today are statements of art and architectural intelligence. Ancient building sites with huge stones or megalithic sites are the same thing. The builders of these ancient sites could have used smaller stones, which of course would have been easier, but the use of impossible...
Yeah, but smaller stones would not have been a display of power. People building big fancy structures and stuff usually are trying to send a message to the people around them, right? Make you feel like something special, make you feel like it's important. Yeah, Rongo. That's how it's spelled, exactly.
Sized stone sends a message and makes a profound statement about who the builder is and their knowledge and strength. A few examples of this in the ancient past are Baalbek in Lebanon, Egypt, and Peru, specifically Cusco, Sacsayhuaman, and Ollantaytambo. The Bible reveals to us that fallen angels in fact were in contact with human beings in the past.
apparently with the Incas within the last 1,000 years, and they've been in contact with the Polynesians within the last 800 years. So that's great. Angels sure are mixing it up.
John Dee and Edward Kelly believed that they were in contact with angels, but I would argue that these men were in contact with fallen angels. They may not have understood at the time because of the culture and whatever the understanding of that day was of spirit.
I think that as far as religious understanding of that day, it was probably a lot more concise and took as de facto than it is now. Now we understand that most religion is mythology, right? But Edward Kelly he's like, yeah, this is the best way for me to bang people's wives.
Spiritual activity and alchemy, but through the process of contacting these, quote, angels, and them telling them to sin through the process of swapping wives, should have told them, especially John Dee, who was said to have been a devout Christian, that these angels were not sent from God. A true angel of God would never lead anyone to sin. These different historical sources support the biblical narrative all the way.
I think that generally speaking that it's, I don't want to say that it was following the Bible, because, you have to kind of do some gymnastics to get there, but the Bible, Jesus's teachings were to, give up your worldly possessions. And at the time of Jesus, worldly possessions did include your woman, your property, your wife, your daughters. So, it's wife swapping, letting another man have at it, could be seen as a way to give up your your possessions and live a godly life, I guess.
Way back to the book of Genesis of fallen angels in the earth. While Satan and his fallen angels have tried and still do try to corrupt the lives and the mindsets of mankind, we can know that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb, Jesus Christ. The passage following in Revelation 12 after Satan and his angels were cast out reads as follows: "And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they did not love their lives to the death." Let me know what you think in the comments about fallen angels and the language that they have between humans and amongst themselves. Did they leave evidence of this language behind? Can we look back at history and see this language? I hope and pray you all are well. Let me know your opinions on all this in the comments. Thanks for watching, and God bless.
All right. Oh.
Tensions are mounting in the Middle East. Israel bracing for expected retaliation strikes from Iran over last week's killing of a top Hamas leader.
The potential for...
Yes, this channel does a lot of religious conspiracy stuff. If we look, yeah, Iran turning to Jesus, UAP shot down, an angel sighting? Was there an angel sighting? Oh my goodness. Pope Francis is going to open 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve. I wonder how that turned out. Did we open those sacred portals? React to Jesus. Mysterious orb over New Jersey reacts to hearing Jesus. The truth about the US UFOs and drones. Yes. So this is a channel we're definitely going to have to visit again. We're doing Slings and Stones. We're subscribed to it, but I wanted to see you give somebody else another chance to crack this egg.
And legends of the past. Join us on a captivating journey through history as we uncover the secrets that have fascinated humanity for centuries. From lost civilizations to mythical tales that shaped our culture, we explore the events that left an indelible mark on our world.
Yeah, it's all in-time fantasy stuff. I think this guy, I think it's actually AI reading this, but the channel takes a little more skeptically.
Enochian is a meticulously constructed angelic language that emerged in the late 16th century and is widely associated with the occultists John Dee and Edward Kelly. These two influential figures claimed that the language was divinely revealed to them by angels during their scrying sessions, which involved gazing into reflective surfaces to obtain mystical insights. According to Dee and Kelly, the angels imparted the intricate linguistic system of Enochian, providing them with a profound and esoteric means of communication with celestial realms. This enigmatic language, believed to hold mystical power and secrets, continues to captivate researchers, practitioners of the occult, and those fascinated by the interplay between spirituality...
And that's the thing, too, because like in the late 19th and early 20th century, a lot of these occult organizations popped up. Golden Dawn is the one that mostly sticks out, like Aleister Crowley. And they use this language, right? Without even... And to me, what that says is the Golden Dawn were just no different than than the Mormons, because they were believing some miraculous nonsense that someone said they pulled out of thin air and just took it at face value. Prophets are so weird. The people believe any prophet totally blows my mind. Because I look at modern prophets. It's like these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're just being nonsensical. They have it, and they're dependent on people's not understanding how nature works.
And linguistic symbolism. John Dee, born in 1527 and passing in 1608, was a notable figure in the Renaissance era, known for his multifaceted pursuits in mathematics, astronomy, and metaphysics. Born in England, Dee made significant contributions to the fields of navigation, cartography, and mathematics, and he is often regarded as one of the most learned men of his time. Dee's association with Queen Elizabeth of England began when he advised her on astrological matters. He cast horoscopes for the Queen and provided counsel on political and strategic matters, thus establishing himself as a trusted advisor in her court. However, his interests extended far beyond traditional scientific and political pursuits. Driven by a deep fascination with the occult and esoteric knowledge, Dee sought to unlock the secrets of the universe and understand the hidden dimensions of reality. He firmly believed that by communicating with celestial beings and receiving guidance from higher realms, he could gain insights that would...
Stop saying he firmly believed. You don't know what he firmly believed. You don't know if he was grifting.
...benefit humanity. To this end, Dee turned to various forms of divination and magical practices, one of which was scrying. Scrying is an ancient technique used to perceive hidden knowledge or future events by gazing into a reflective surface, such as a crystal ball, mirror, or water. Dee employed a specific crystal, known as a shoe...
Staring into flashlights? I read that as fleshlights. That shows you where my brain is. Yeah, but I've never stared into a fleshlight or a flashlight. Let's not do either of those things. But I did have a scrying mirror when I was a witchy girl, which is a little round black mirror that I would stare into. It's sort of meditative, so it's not bad. It's just giving you something to focus your attention on while you're meditating. I prefer now to meditate with my I prefer to meditate now with my eyes closed.
Stone or showstone, which was believed to possess mystical properties. By concentrating his gaze upon the crystal, he sought to establish a connection with spiritual entities and receive visions or messages.
I think on your AI prompt on this one, you should have put crystal ball. Because, like, that's just a crystal.
Dee's scrying sessions were not limited to celestial communication, but also involved attempts to contact angelic beings. He believed that angels held profound wisdom and could serve as intermediaries between humans and the divine. With the assistance of his...
Maya says you have to believe him. He has an AI voice.
...trusted scryer, Edward Kelly, Dee conducted numerous scrying sessions in which they claimed to receive messages from angels, including a celestial language called Enochian. Dee's fascination with the occult and his dedication to his spiritual pursuits did not go unnoticed. While some contemporaries admired his intellectual prowess, others viewed his practices with suspicion and skepticism. The line between Dee's scholarly pursuits and his
wisely so
metaphysical endeavors often blurred, leading to controversy and accusations of sorcery. Nevertheless, his relentless pursuit of knowledge, both in the realms of science and the occult, remains a significant aspect of his legacy. In addition to his magical pursuits...
Oh, I do that too. Especially when I get into a nice loose chord structure where I can just go through my emotions with it. I'll play and move through different different feelings and kind of I don't know, channel my inner self, I guess, to let some certain feelings out that I don't get to articulate verbally to the world.
Dee's contributions to mathematics, astronomy, and navigation were substantial. He wrote numerous works on these subjects, including the Mathematical Preface to Euclid's Elements and the General and Rare Memorials pertaining to the perfect arty of navigation. Dee's writings and teachings played a significant role in advancing scientific knowledge during the Renaissance period. During the late 16th century, John Dee collaborated with Edward Kelly, an intriguing figure known for his involvement in alchemy, mediumship, and his purported ability to communicate with supernatural entities. Kelly became Dee's primary scryer, assisting him in his quest to establish contact with the angelic realm.
Until he fucked his wife. I bet this one doesn't cover that, but...
Dee and Kelly's partnership began in 1582 when they met in Bohemia, present-day Czech Republic. Kelly claimed to possess the ability to communicate with angels through a crystal ball or other scrying mediums. Intrigued by Kelly's abilities, Dee invited him to join him in his metaphysical pursuits, seeking to gain deeper insights from the spiritual realm. Together, Dee and Kelly conducted a series of intense scrying sessions, often referred to as the spiritual conferences. They used a special crystal known as the shoe stone, through which they claimed to receive messages and visions from angelic beings. These
What they tell you to do?
Took place in various locations, including the cities of Prague and Krakow. During these scrying sessions, Kelly would gaze into the crystal while Dee transcribed the messages he received. They claimed to communicate with a host of angelic entities, most notably a group of beings they called the angelic governors, or the angelic hierarchy. According to their accounts, these
angelic swingers. The angelic swingers, guys.
Angelic beings provided them with divine wisdom, knowledge of secret mysteries, and prophecies about future events. The language in which these angelic communications occurred was known as Enochian. Dee and Kelly believed that Enochian was the language of angels, a celestial tongue that surpassed any earthly language in its depth and spiritual significance. They diligently recorded and developed a complex system of Enochian language and symbols based on the messages received during their scrying sessions. Dee and Kelly's collaboration and the information they claimed to have received from the angelic realm deeply
the information on how to be a swinger
influenced their worldview. They believed that the angelic beings were guiding them towards a divine mission, which involved the restoration of ancient knowledge and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. However, their partnership was not without its challenges. Over time, tensions arose between Dee and Kelly, and doubts about Kelly's credibility emerged. Some scholars have suggested that Kelly might have manipulated Dee and fabricated the messages they received. Nonetheless, their collaboration lasted for several years, with Dee documenting their scrying sessions extensively. The legacy of Dee and Kelly's scrying sessions and their communication...
I wonder if Kelly saw John Dee's wife first and then decided that he was a scryer. He's like, because you can see his pointed ears here, because he's supposed to have cropped ears because he was a fraudster, so he'd been like criminally punished by having his ears cropped. But I wonder if he saw if he saw his wife and he was like, oh damn, let me find out what this guy's into and see how I can swindle him into getting me some of that.
With angelic entities continues to captivate scholars and occult enthusiasts alike. The Enochian language and system developed by Dee and Kelly.
Oh my god, Aunt Jer. Oh, Aunt Jer, I'm pinning that. That's great. You win. You win the chat today. I wonder if Kelly's wife liked Dee's nuts. I think Kelly wasn't really into the wife swap, is what Dee wasn't into the wife swap, so he probably wasn't giving it his all when he banged Kelly's wife.
Have become foundational elements of various occult traditions and magical practices. Many practitioners still study and explore their work, seeking to unlock the mystery.
The ancient knowledge of how to throw a key party. The crystal balls told me, everyone throw thy chariot key onto a blanket, and thy ones you take out, thy owner, thy must fucketh. You guys.
Embedded within the angelic communications. John Dee believed that the Enochian language was the language spoken by Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden before the fall. He considered it to be the original language of humanity, containing profound wisdom and divine power. Dee and Kelly claimed to have received this language through communication with angels during a series of scrying sessions. According to Dee and Kelly, they used a scrying technique involving a crystal ball or a mirror, where they would gaze into the reflective surface to receive visions and messages from angelic beings. They claimed to have made contact with angels who revealed the Enochian language to them. The language was said to be composed of a complex system.
Yeah, I'm saying that, John Dee was probably like crying while he fucked Kelly's wife. I actually kind of feel bad for John Dee, because he's like thinking this like angels are really telling him to let this guy bang his wife. It's like, okay. And he went to his grave with that being the thing that he believed, that angels wanted his wife to fuck Kelly, to fuck Edward Kelly. That's crazy.
System of letters, words, and symbols, which were arranged in a grid-like structure known as the Enochian tablets. One of the distinctive features of Enochian is its complex grammar and syntax. It has a highly structured system that differs.
Did you know if you watched The Grinch, though, the Jim Carrey version of The Grinch, the scene where it's talking about when he was arrived in his little basket or whatever, that the who's inside the party were having a key party, if you pay attention?
Significantly from English and other European languages. Enochian grammar involves the use of prefixes, suffixes, and infixes to indicate tense, mood, and other grammatical aspects. The language also employs a unique word order, which often deviates from the subject-verb-object pattern found in English.
Who's are some horny motherfuckers. I'm just saying. The Who's from down in Whoville, they love to fuck.
The Enochian script, also known as the Celestial script, is the writing system associated with Enochian. It consists of a series of angular and curving symbols or glyphs, which are often written from right to left. The script has a distinct aesthetic, with intricate and ornate characters. Each symbol represents a sound or a combination of sounds in the Enochian language. Enochian has a large vocabulary of words and phrases that were supposedly revealed to Dee and Kelly during their angelic communications. Many of these words are unique to Enochian and have no direct equivalents in other languages. The vocabulary encompasses various aspects of spiritual and metaphysical concepts, as well as elements of Christian and Judeo-Christian symbolism. Due to its esoteric origins and association with occult practices, Enochian has remained a niche language primarily used within occult and ceremonial magic circles. Some practitioners of the occult still...
And those people are no different than, like the Mormon church now for believing this nonsense, right? That's like... Someone said that they receive divine messages via... Scrying's the same. They're looking into a crystal. John Smith was looking into a hat, whatever. But receiving messages from the divine... and then people are actually like modern occultists that are like, oh, I'm not into the modern religions. I'm into this. Don't realize that the Enochian, the Golden Dawn, everything, Wicca, all of it links back to this, back to these two trolls right here. These two wife swapping trolls. All of it goes back to that. The modern witchcraft is not built on ancient pagan practices. Well, I shouldn't say all of it. Some of the stuff more so than others. But a lot of the modern cult stuff is built around what these guys were doing here. And we know now, looking at this, that it's completely fabricated, right? I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that from you guys, from a modern lens, looking back at the situation with John Dee and Edward Kelly, that you don't understand what's going on here. What do I keep saying? John Smith instead of Joseph Smith? Joseph Smith, yeah. John Smith is Doctor Who. John Smith is Pocahontas. Yeah. Joseph Smith. Sorry, yeah, Mormonism and all that is just... It's all the same. It's some grifter dude coming up with a way to convince people that had a supernatural experience and that they're receiving messages from on high. You can go, if you want to talk about Christianity, it goes back to the Pauline stuff. That's Paulie. Yeah, Paulie had his experience on the road to Damascus. It's the same thing as their scrying session here and the golden plates. It's all the same grift. It just repackaged.
Still study and utilize Enochian in rituals, invocations, and divination. However, it's important to note that the validity and historical origins of Enochian are a subject of debate among scholars and practitioners alike. According to the accounts provided by Dee and Kelly, the language of Enochian was communicated to them by angels through a series of supernatural communications.
Well, I was getting John in my head because I've been saying John Dee a lot more than I've been saying Joseph Smith.
Visions. They believed that Enochian was the language spoken by angels, and that by understanding and speaking it, they could communicate and interact with these celestial beings. Enochian consists of a complex system of letters and symbols, arranged in a grid-like structure known as the Enochian tablet or the Great Table. This system is used to construct magical
Right,
words.
Joseph Smith did the same thing. He's like, God wants me to fuck your wife. Or it wasn't him, it was one of his descendants. It was, what's his name? Was Joseph Smith a polygamist? Maybe he was. Let me see. Joseph Smith, polygamy. Yeah, Joseph Smith had multiple wives. So, literally, it's like, yeah, I want to be able to bang a bunch of women is one of God's orders, right? Like, the women of my cult are sexually available for me.
Words, invocations, and spells. The language itself is said to have a powerful and mystical quality, with practitioners claiming that it possesses inherent spiritual and transformative properties. The Enochian system has been studied and utilized by various occultists, magicians, and esoteric groups throughout history.
Thank you, Sumami. Yeah, Brigham Young was the one who really doubled down on the polygamy
Notable
stuff.
figures who have incorporated Enochian into their magical practices include members of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, Aleister Crowley, and the influential occultist and ceremonial magician, Israel Regardie. Enochian rituals often involve the recitation of Enochian invocations, the use of magical tools, and the performance of ceremonial actions to establish a connection with angelic beings and seek their guidance or assistance. Some practitioners also employ scrying techniques, such as using crystal balls or mirrors, to receive visions and insights from the angelic realm. It's important to note that the claims and practices associated with Enochian and its use in magic are highly debated and subject to interpretation. While some individuals firmly believe in the efficacy and power of Enochian magic,
seriously, it was a grift to get some pussy. Let's not oversell it. The guy was like, I want to bang this woman. I need to figure out a way to make it happen. And he grifted her husband into thinking he was talking to angels, and the angels said that they wanted him to bang his wife. It's not that complicated. Stop pretending. And to this very day, we have people still using this Enochian language and thinking that there's appealing to some divine spiritual truth. And it's like, no, this was a grift that some guy did hook up with a girl that he was into, for real. Was Pauly Shore his generation's Laurence Olivier? Oh no, Pauly Shore is more of our generation's Don Knotts than Laurence Olivier. Pauly Shore, I guess, is currently trying to make a comedic docudrama about Richard Simmons, and I guess Richard Simmons' brother is pretty pissed about it. So, like, I don't know, Pauly Shore, get it together.
Magic. Others view it as a psychological or symbolic tool for personal exploration and transformation. To conclude, the origins and authenticity of Enochian, a purported angelic language, remain subjects of intense debate and speculation. Skeptics argue that its creators, John Dee and Edward Kelly, may have fabricated the language as part of their esoteric pursuits during the Elizabethan era. These skeptics point to the lack of historical evidence and the suspicious circumstances surrounding its creation, including the use of scrying and spiritual communication. While there is no definitive proof either way, it is undeniable that Enochian has captured the interest and fascination of numerous occultists and esoteric enthusiasts throughout.
Yeah, here we go. He's going to list off some of the people that still use this nonsense. And it's just like, I can't help but appeal to, like, the story of the nativity, right? Like, a teenage girl gets knocked up, and a quick twist of fate and some clever story building, we have multiple religions across the globe dedicated to worshiping her child now.
Out history, and continues to do so today. Despite the skepticism surrounding its origins, Enochian has been integrated into various occult systems and practices, particularly within the realms of ceremonial magic and angelic communication. Enthusiasts of Enochian study and practice the language with the belief that it holds profound spiritual and mystical significance. They explore its grammar, vocabulary, and symbols, delving into its purported connection with angelic beings and the realms of the divine. Some practitioners claim to have experienced profound insights, visions, and transformative experiences through their engagement with Enochian rituals and invocations. While the debate about the authenticity of Enochian is unlikely...
I mean, you can claim a lot of things. Some people claim to be vampires, so... I mean...
likely to be settled definitively, its enduring allure lies in its mysterious nature and the potential it holds as a tool for spiritual exploration. Whether it is a genuinely ancient angelic language or a product of human imagination, Enochian continues to serve as a source of inspiration and a catalyst for spiritual seekers, fueling their curiosity and driving them to delve deeper into the realms of the esoteric and the unknown. Thank you for joining us on this fascinating...
Okay, it's the esoteric and unknown. Alright. So, on this one, this is ancient enigmas. And you get things like unlocking the mystery behind Pandora's box, secret of stone giants. 5 more astonishing oddities. You got vampires down here too. Exploring the mysterious history of vampires. Unveiling the supernatural. Exploring haunted legends and ghostly encounters. Y'all subscribe to this. Why not? I could come back to this and pull some of this stuff. Looks like they haven't been going for very long. Well, actually, it looks like they only went for a minute and then they stopped producing content. So this might be all we ever get from them. But what do you all think? Is Enochian really a language? Should we share our wives and spouses with are fellow scrying buddies. Like, if you're going to do a Ouija board with somebody, does it really work if you aren't fucking their girlfriend or their boyfriend? I mean, does it work unless you've been completely intimate with their partner? Can you really share an intimate scrying moment together? Let me know in the comments down below. And please remember to be kind. Take care, and we will see you next time. All right, don't go anywhere. There's still more show to come. I'm not done yet. There's one more segment to go, but we got to do the next version of the song, so y'all can hear and make a decision on that. So we're gonna do that, and then we are going to an island, a tropical paradise, if you will. It's where we're going to visit, and on that tropical paradise, we're going to find dragons. But first, let me go ahead and play the next version of the song and see what you guys think, okay? Let me know what you think. All right, my beauties and bees, welcome to Bree's Bestiary, the part of the show where I wrap things up by talking about animals. I love animals. I love teaching you all about biology and ecology of different species, and also the whatever folklore is associated with them and so forth. So, today I decided to focus on what is currently the largest living lizard in the world. Well, unless, okay, so time to make some enemies among the zoology nerds. The largest living lizard is the Komodo dragon. However, the Asian water monitor can exceed the Komodo dragon in length, but doesn't even approach it in weight. So you kind of have a two-part situation there. And now, when it comes to the heaviest lizard, now here's where I'm going to make some enemies, because it's been proposed that so a Komodo dragon, it maxes out about 166 kilograms, or 366 pounds, right? That's a big lizard. However, there is a lizard that and remember, I use the word lizard, I have to use it monophylically. There's a lizard that's proposed to weigh up to 550 pounds. I don't believe it, but they say that it is. This lizard is completely aquatic, and it's called an anaconda. Y'all are like, what? Anaconda's not a lizard, it's a snake. So here's the thing. Here's the burst everybody's bubble that snakes are a clade of lizards. There's actually lizards that are closer related to snakes than they are to other lizards. It's a Winchester sandwich. Oh my goodness. So I stream at reasonable hours. Thank you, Spooky. I try. So lizards are all what you call a lizard is all squamates except for snakes, which phylogeny doesn't work that way. Monophyly doesn't work that way. It's kind of like how it's kind of like calling all apes except for humans, right? It's like excluding humans from apes, because we're like chimpanzees and bonobos are closer related to us than they are to gorillas. Way closer related to us than they are to orangutans, and way closer to us than they are to gibbons, right? Same thing goes with snakes. Like varanids, for instance, are much serpentes, which is the clade that includes snakes, are closer related to one another than they are to most other clades of lizards. So snakes are a type of lizard, okay? Snakes are a type of lizard, and if snakes are a type of lizard, and green anacondas can reach 550 pounds, which I doubt very much. I do think that green anacondas may approach 300 pounds, though, heavier than a Komodo dragon. But I don't believe the 550 pound without any kind of verifiable weight. The heaviest anaconda weighed did not reach 550 pounds. I'm just going to put that out there right now. But we're not talking about anacondas here. We're talking about Komodo dragons. So I digress. Komodo dragons are the largest varanid alive, right? We'll stick with that. But as far as the largest lizard, unless you can find me a good reason to say that that snakes are not lizards, then the largest lizards are snakes. Both of them. The heaviest would be the anaconda, and the longest would be the reticulated python. But talking about lizards with legs, specifically, we're going to be doing and dealing with the Komodo dragon. So let's see what we have here. evolutionary origins of the Komodo dragon.
Welcome to the remote islands of Indonesia, home to one of the most fascinating and formidable creatures on the planet, the Komodo dragon. These colossal reptiles have roamed the earth for millions of years, but how much do we really know about their origins?
I mean, it's like saying these bipedal apes have roamed the earth for millions of years because, yeah, we have, since our ancestry goes back to the beginning, to the Ediacaran, so so is theirs. Meet the Komodo dragon.
Varanus komodoensis, is the largest living lizard on Earth, reaching lengths of up to 10 feet and weighing...
How is it the largest lizard on Earth by reaching lengths of 10 feet when a reticulated python can reach lengths exceeding 30 feet, or 10 meters?
Over 150 pounds. Endemic to the Lesser Sunda Islands of Indonesia, these
That's not a Komodo dragon. That is not a Komodo dragon. That is a Salvatore monitor lizard. And that's a water monitor. That's the longest lizard, though.
With keen senses, powerful limbs, and a lethal bite. Equipped with a highly developed sense of smell and venomous glands, they are perfectly adapted to hunt and thrive in their isolated habitats.
Ancient origins.
To uncover the Komodo dragon's ancestry, we must travel back over 40 million years to the Eocene.
Komodo dragon's close related to alligator as it is to a parakeet. So, alligator, again, monophyly. Alligators and birds are closer related to each other than they are to any other reptile group. So crocodilians, like alligators, and birds are archosaurs in a clade that they share with an extinct pterosaurs and such. Whereas lizards and snakes and mosasaurs and stuff are lepidosaurs. It's a different clade. It's if you look at their pelvic girdle, you can tell the difference between an archosaur and a lepidosaur.
An epoch when the first monitor lizards of the genus Varanus emerged in Asia. These early monitor lizards were the pioneers of a lineage that would spread across continents, giving rise to a diverse group of species, including...
Exactly. Snakes are lizards in the same way that birds are reptiles.
The Komodo dragon. One of the Komodo dragon's most intriguing relatives is the extinct Megalania.
We got to talk about Megalania first. So, one thing I want to clarify, though, is that the genus Varanid, all monitor lizards are in the same genus, Varanid. That includes Komodo dragons. That includes little pet monitor lizards you get. Well, some things that are called monitor lizards aren't actually Varanids, but We'll avoid that for the moment and just talk about Varanids in general. Like, all of them are in the same genus, from Nile monitors to Parentes in Australia to the Asian water monitors, Komodo dragons. They're all in the same genus, and that included Megalania. Megalania was in its own genus for a while, but now it is in its own. Or now it's in the Varanid genus, and that requires that the name Megalania isn't really the proper name for it anymore. But I digress.
Yeah. Varanus priscus, a giant monitor lizard that inhabited Australia.
Yeah, it's Varanus priscus. So Megalania is like a dead name to it. A dead name. It's not trans. It's a junior synonym.
Until about 50,000 years ago. Megalania could reach lengths of up to 23 feet, dwarfing even the largest Komodo dragons. While they shared common ancestors, the exact relationship between Megalania and the Komodo dragon remains a topic of...
What do the dinosaurs have to do with any of this? Megalania didn't live at the time of the dinosaurs. Megalania was a Pleistocene, Pleistocene organism.
Scientific exploration.
Pleistocene's the modern, like the time period right before this one, right before the Holocene, which we live in. Unless you want to consider us living in the Anthropocene, which, that depends.
The phenomenon of island gigantism plays a crucial role in the Komodo dragon's evolution. On isolated islands, species often evolve larger sizes due to the absence of predators and competition. For the Komodo dragon, limited resources and unique ecological niches fostered their growth into the
It needed to be an apex predator on this tiny island.
Predators we see today. Over millennia,
and survival.
Komodo dragons developed specialized adaptations. Their muscular build allows them to take down prey much larger than themselves, while their venomous bite delivers toxins that induce shock.
It looks like they have 2 eyelids,
and prevent blood clotting. Contrary to earlier beliefs that bacteria were the primary agents in subduing prey, research has confirmed that their venom plays a significant role, a remarkable example of evolutionary innovation. The venom of the Komodo dragon is a complex...
Is that a possum? I don't think that's a Komodo dragon. Those spots don't look right.
Cocktail of toxic proteins.
No, that's not a Komodo dragon. That's some kind of varanid, though.
Enzymes that have several physiological effects on the prey. The venom
Man, they sure used a lot of not Komodo dragon stock footage in this.
Contains anticoagulant compounds that prevent blood clotting, leading to prolonged bleeding. Hypertensive agents cause a severe...
So you can see the difference. That's a Komodo dragon right there. Their face is shaped different.
Drop in blood.
Komodo dragon almost has a Therian sort of face, like a canid or a like leaning towards that. That's the cool thing about varanids too. So crocodiles, for instance, they have a 4-chambered heart that functions like a 3-chambered heart, whereas varanids have a 3-chamber heart that functions like a 4-chamber heart. So that's just food for thought. I talked to Dapper Dinosaur about this when we were talking about ecology, because the varanids are the most mammal-like sauropsid. Varanids are the most mammal-like sauropsids, excluding birds, I guess. Okay, here we go. Varanids are the most archosaur-like lepidosaurs, and crocodilians are the most lepidosaur-like archosaurs. But it's ironic because they're not exactly closely related.
Pressure, leading to shock and loss of consciousness. Pain-inducing proteins increase the sensation of pain, which can immobilize the prey. And muscle paralytics cause paralysis or weaken muscle function. The Komodo dragon's venom is a key factor in its status as an apex predator. This sophisticated biological weapon allows it to take down animals much larger than itself, highlighting an impressive
Look at that beast. Look at that huge neck. That's a mighty creature. Look how mighty that is. You don't want to have that coming charging at you, right? I mean, humans can probably outdistance a Komodo dragon pretty easily. Again, because we have those faster running hips as well, but Komodo dragons have to do the side-to-side motion that makes them burn through energy faster.
Evolutionary adaptation. The fluctuating climate and geological changes of the Pleistocene epoch significantly influenced the distribution and evolution of species in the region. Lower sea levels occasionally connected islands, allowing fauna to migrate and leading to genetic diversity among isolated populations.
And Australia used to be connected to all like the Sunda Islands and stuff like that, New Guinea, and Komodo dragons just kind of walked there.
Shifts contributed to the emergence of distinct species like the Komodo dragon. Today, Komodo dragons face new challenges. Classified as endangered by the International Union
That's also not a Komodo dragon.
for Conservation of Nature, they are threatened by habitat loss, human encroachment, and natural disasters. Conservation efforts are underway to protect their habitats and ensure their survival. By studying their evolutionary history, scientists can make informed decisions to preserve not just the Komodo dragon, but the delicate ecosystems they inhabit. The Komodo dragon is more than a modern marvel. It's a living link to a prehistoric
so
past.
Cute. I want to boop. You'd probably snap my finger off if I tried.
Its journey through time is a testament to the power of evolution and the intricate web of life that connects all living organisms on Earth. Thank you for joining us on this incredible voyage through the evolutionary history of the Komodo dragon. If you found this exploration fascinating, please like this video and subscribe to Science Curious for more insights into the wonders of science and the natural world. Have questions or...
Yeah, and we are going to just real quick, I want to go look at Komodo Island. First of all, we're going to adjust the shape of the orientation of the globe. And then we are going to zoom in between the lesser Sunda Islands here. And I got it hearted here. So this is the island we're looking at. This is the island of Komodo. And there's a few places we can drop down. We're going to drop down way up here. Now, if you look, you can see why it might be a struggle to escape from giant lizards in this forest, right? Like, if you just take in how it's laid out. Some of these ridges up here you can kind of look around and see, but the Komodo Island's a lot bigger than some people think, and more montane too. The dragons are a lot of they don't live up in the highlands so much as they are more of a like a coastal species. But unfortunately we can't. Ooh, Pink Beach. Pink Beach sounds nice. Are there dragon tracks or some kind of tracks there? Something scratching in the sand. Ooh. Yeah, so that's Komodo Island. I don't know if any of y'all ever seen it or knew where it was. It's actually not that far from a lot of these other lesser Sunda Islands. There's Timor and Sumba, Witar, East Nuasa, Tinagua, and West Nuasa Tinguara. And that's a good way to remember it, is to look for those two islands. And it's right in between them. But yeah, I just wanted to fill y'all in a little bit on Komodo dragons. So hopefully that was educational and fun. But yeah, that's my little breeze bestiary for today. So remember to be kind, take care, and we'll see you next time. All right, live from the Hive crew. Hey, thank you for sticking with us throughout the show. And appreciate every one of you for voting on the poll as well. Because whatever wins this poll, which looks like it's the electronica version, is going to be up against a strings and keys version next week. So it looks like electronica is winning the game. And yeah. All right, well, it's been another lovely Saturday morning with you guys. Appreciate everybody for showing up, like I've said a million times. Please, do subscribe to the transpositions. Ooh, I'm suddenly tired. Please subscribe to the transpositions and let your computer or phone or whatever play it while you're doing whatever, so that we can get them launch hours. Appreciate you. All right, well, I will be around if you need me. I'm going to have the rest of my Saturday. Please remember to be kind, take care, and we will see you next time.
There's an office and a building and a person and a chair, and you paid for it all, though you may be unaware. You paid for the paper, you paid for the phone, you paid for everything they need to deny you what you're owed. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity. Now the procedure that you're needing ain't the cost-effective route, and only 2% of people end up winning a dispute. So if you get sick, pray to God for help, 'cause your doctor's gotta pray to United Health. Way back in 77, Mr. Richard T. Burke started buying HMOs, putting federal grants to work, made 50 billion buckaroos. Last year the Warren Buffett of health, the Jeff Bezos of fear. Now CEOs come and go, and one just went. The ingredient you got, bake the cake you get. But if you get sick, cross your fingers for luck, 'cause old Richard T. Burke ain't giving a fuck. Commoditized health, monopolized fraud. Here's the doctors we own and the research we bought. They own the pharmacies and a lot of the meds. They should start buying graves to sell us when we're all dead. There ain't no you in United Health, there ain't no me in the company, there ain't no us in the private trust. There's hardly humans in humanity. There's hardly humans in humanity.
With all the noise, pseudoscience, and political rhetoric clogging the airwaves about transgender people, it can be difficult to understand what's really happening and what's really true. Good news, everyone! Welcome to The Transpositions, your compass in the rugged landscape of transgender issues. Here, we strive to be the beacon of authenticity, providing a platform that amplifies the voices and experiences of the transgender community. From breaking news to in-depth features to breaking down the real science, we are committed to fostering understanding, empathy, and empowerment for all individuals across the gender spectrum. Join us as we navigate the complexities, celebrate the triumphs, and advocate for the rights of transgender people worldwide. Together, we can redefine boundaries, challenge stereotypes, and champion inclusivity. Subscribe today. The link is in the description.